Hello, my name is Chris Palmer, and in today's link building for SEO video, I'd like to discuss the #1 backlink indexing secret. So this backlink indexing secret has to do with a backlink is not being shown in search results. Does not mean that it's not indexed, and it also does not mean that a link is not passing power because it's not shown in the search results. Furthermore, these search results are not the index. The index contains all pages. If Google has crawled your page, irrelevant if the page is in the search results, it's still passing power, and I can prove it. So this video is going to not only show you a test that my testing group conducted, but I'm also going to bring you over to a page called infolab.stanford.edu. It's a page called The Anatomy of the Search Engine. Now, why Stanford University is important is because Stanford University came up with the technology of parsing and indexing the web. Now, Google, search engine that we all know and we all love, they actually use the patent and have rights to Stanford's patent. Now, they created a white paper that I want to go ahead and show you here, and I want to bring your eyes to this diagram about the crawler, the store server, repository, indexer, parser, lexicon, the sorter, the searcher, PageRank, doc index. This is a high-level architecture of how Google indexing and sorting works. High level meaning a 50-foot view, right? It's a lot more intricate than this. A lot more number crunching is going on. Way over my head, right? But I can at least explain it, and I can prove that if a page is crawled by Google and indexed, it's still passing power. So I want to just bring you down here. That's a visual representation of what's going on. But if we come on down here to crawling the web and indexing the web, 4.4, which is important, it's going to take us through the process. So first is parsing, and parsing is basically crawling and gathering everything. HTML pages, it's bringing everything. Then there's indexing documents into barrels, right? And they're sorted by anchor text, they're sorted by titles, body hits, and it talks about it on this page. Have a read, it's an excellent read. And it's going to literally sort everything. It's going to index, make a copy. It already knows it exists. And then there is sorting, right? And in order to generate the inverted index, which is going to be the inverted index, is another word for the search results. So if we come on down here, we can see, let's bring your eyes to 4.26 and 4.27. All right. The forward index is actually already partially sorted. All right. Every page has already been gathered by word ID, also called word hits and anchor hits. Then there's word hits, which are the body, and then it's also recording titles. Now there's some other crunching going on. PageRank takes into place, links plays into place. There's other algorithm. It's not just one algorithm. There's multiple algorithms taking effect here. But we're talking about indexing, and we're talking about if a page is indexed, not in the search results, will it still pass power? Everything is being recorded. It's called the forward index. Now, if you take a look here at 4.2.7 inverted index, the inverted index consists of the same barrels as the forward index. So it contains all those other pieces, but they have been processed by the sorter for every valid word ID. So that's word hits, everything that's within the body content, everything that's within the title, everything that's in the anchors, everything, right? And the lexicon contains a pointer into the barrel that the word ID falls into. This is a lot of techno babble, right? But the long story short of this is this. If you take a look at the repository, which is a true index, they're discussing it more. The repository contains the full HTML of every web page. And then it talks about how it does it and what it's doing. This is a great read. But as you can see, and I'm sure you know, when pages are no index, they still get crawled by Google. You can see it in your server logs. Again, over the course of time, you will notice that it's getting crawled less and less. But that still doesn't mean that it cannot pass power or have a link pass power from a no index page, which means it's not in the search results, but it doesn't mean that it's not inside of a barrel, it's not being sorted, it's not in the true index, also known as the forward index. Now, again, like I mentioned, I can prove this. My small group and I conducted a very small test, and if you're interested in seeing how these tests are set up from beginning till end, I'll actually unveil the sites, the titles we use, indexing methods. I'll walk through the entire process. It's community-based, so you can actually give us input. We'll run the test step by step. You can go with us every step of the way. I call it teaching through testing because you learn a lot from tests, not just the answer to a test like this one. Does a no index link pass power? And the answer we're going to get to. But we made a test. And as you can see here, this is just a screenshot that I took on 4/3 after the pages were settled. I created these pages 21 days before. It took about that long to give us a settlement of the pages. And this was the order, and I numbered them. And what we did is we actually had a website, and we passed a link. It's a no index page, I should say. We put a link pointing to our test page, number 7 here, on 4/3. We then checked this site 7 days later on 4/10, and there was actually a resort. A resort is what I call when you introduce ranking factors, all right, into a SERP. What you'll notice is the pages will actually readjust. Now, the actual sort might not be the same, and the page that we pointed the link to may not be in the same place. But what we noticed after the resort was the only variation was we added that no index link to page 7, and it moved up to the number 1 spot in a week. Now, it might have moved up before, but I literally didn't check it for a whole week. Now, there was a resort, and I'm not saying that this is a powerful link, and that if you only passed links from no index pages inside of a normal SERP where there's a lot of other factors going on, hundreds of factors, multiple algorithms running, every SERP is different. But in an isolated test where we have 7 results, it should have been 10, but I lost a few. These things happen. Literally took us to the top position. Now, time has been progressing, and I made this video today. It's 5/5. It's May the 5th. And I did a quick search today just to check. And how we keep track of this is each page, when it's created inside of WordPress, we put a timestamp on it of when they're created. We know that they're created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how we set them up to keep track because they are basically the same page. Other than that particular factor, that's how I keep track. I went in to take a look. Number 7 is still in the first position. I'm sure there was a resort, but just for sake of video and time when I pulled this out, it's still number 1. So for this link building for SEO video, the backlink index secret is this. There are 2 indexes. Not only are there 2 indexes, but the search results are not the index. Once a page is crawled, it is contained within the actual index that Google holds. Now, if you'd like to read along at info.stanford.edu, the anatomy of a search engine, it will go into far more detail to prove this point in even farther depth. But that will conclude my video for today on the search results and the index and how a indexed page, even if it's no indexed in the search results, will still pass power. So if you're building backlinks and they're not showing in the search results, you could still potentially be getting a benefit from those backlinks. So that's going to wrap up today's link building for SEO. My name is Chris Palmer. If you have any questions about teaching through testing, if you have any questions about more SEO tests, backlink building, link building, really anything link building or SEO, please feel free to leave it in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next link building for SEO video. Have a wonderful day.